What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mistick's MMOs. I'm your host, Mistick Raven. Okay, so the Flames of Ambition is out for PC, and in a few days, it's going to come to console. But Mistick Raven is back, and I have never let you down, nor will I. First build video in 2 years, but I think the results speak for themselves. Here's the deal. Zos nerfed crit. And you're going to notice it big time, even with the stat adjustment. But we went ahead and got our crit up to 63.7 on our main bar. On our back bar, it's still slightly lower. I'll explain why. 47.7. I could get this higher, but I would sacrifice spell damage. And that, to me, is not worth it, given the fact that I'm close to a 50% crit radius, and this is my AoE bar. So, we're good. Recovery on this side, 1971. Max magic on this side, 37. Our penetration is slightly over-exceeded due to the passives. It's fine. We can't control that. So, it is what it is. Max Magicka, everything's been allocated into Max Magicka. Primary bar, we have our recovery at 20. Max Magicka's been scaled over 40. Maximum health, 21. And our spell crit, 63. Spell damage is the same on both bars. Okay, and once again, penetration's the same. Okay, when we take a look at the advanced stats, we see our resistance. This is a PvE DPS build. Okay, we're using Witch Mother's Potent Brew. If you feel comfortable with another food, you can do that, but this has been adjusted towards this food. We're running the Thief. We'll always have Minor Berserk buff up. That'll increase our base damage by 5%. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the gear. We're going to be using War Maidens. Right, transmuted Nirnhone. Now I put the magic damage glyph on here. Why? Because of War Maiden. Right, when we take a look at the War Maiden increases magic damage by 593 spell damage. So it will go ahead and raise the damage of our glyphs. So we went ahead and went both the same. All right, so if you want to put flame damage on your weapon or shock, by all means, go ahead. I just wanted to, get a little bit of the extra restore on the weave and take advantage of the magic damage. And both are Nirnhone. That is a percentage-based value, so it increases the damage of the weapon by 15%. Okay, so really nice, really nice. All right, so we also went with Slime Crawl. That's why we're able to go ahead and get the Minor Berserk at all times. Plus, it's adding to our critical value. Now, we have a 6-1 configuration due to the passives and to the light armor. So when we take a look at the light armor passives, they've changed the passives considerably. So to get the 5-piece bonus, it scales per piece instead of just the 5. So we went with that spell critical rating up a little bit more by 219. That gives us a total of 1318. Okay, and of course, because we also did that, we also hit over the penetrating value. So of course, because of the light armor passive, we're going to overextend our crit. Usually, with stam users, I try not to go over anything over 5 point something due to the dynamics of group. Okay, but we want to definitely take advantage of the 6-1 config because of also the Undaunted passive. That has not changed, so we do get that max bonus. Okay, so that's why we went with the 6-1 configuration. So we have a light head, divine, 1 infuse, also 6 divine, 1 infuse. So Slime Crawl, divine, max magicka, Robe of Mother Sorrow. This is going to be our base crit set. Zos kind of put themselves in a little bit of a pickle because it makes Leviathan and Mother Sorrow a set that's going to be adherent to a lot of player configuration due to the critical nerf. It's just unfortunate, but it's the way it is. But this is infused. Why? Because going 7 divines would go ahead and degrade our max magica pool. And once again, because I'm a Dunmer, I get a max magica, right? And we want to go ahead and scale that in concurrence with our spell damage. So we went with the max magica. On every piece, there's no health. Everything's max magica. 1 infused. You can infuse either chest, legs, or head, but make sure you get 1 infused on one of the big pieces. And the rest is divine. And then you want to go ahead and grab the jewelry of War Maiden. If you have gold of Mother Sorrow, by all the means use that and then configure. But these are both static sets, so I have a static DPS on both sides without worrying about any type of proc scenario. So this is all concurrent DPS. You don't have to worry about if something is proccing or not. It is static. Now, a lot of people are going to argue you can gain minor berserk from healers with combat prayer. This is true because I play healer, but once again, it's an 8-second application, and that's a line of sight. If a mechanic was to occur and that buff drops, your DPS drops. So I decided, since it has a critical rating and mechanics are now more circumference, and circular, healers can't always apply the buffs appropriately. So I wanted the DPS static. But that's why I was able to go ahead and get the critical value over the 63 and take advantage of it. Okay, now I'm going to also be showing you the skill bar. Okay, so primary bar, single target focus, degen, magic damage. Pretty self-explanatory. Also gives us the major sorcery, and it also gives us the passive into the mage guild. Okay. Grants the empower, increasing the light attack by 40%. Okay, so when we activate it, within 3 seconds, our next light attack deals 40% more damage. Plus, keep in mind, increases max magic and magic recovery by 2% for each mage guild ability slotted. Of course, I have 2 on here. So we go with the degen, we go with the crushing shock. Now, if you wanted to use the Sigic elemental weapon, it does deal a really nice amount of damage, and if you can do it within the time, you'll also get the spell orb. The only thing about it is it makes weaving, because you activate, you have to fire within 2 seconds, and sometimes for the cost, I just don't like how it fires. It doesn't feel fluid, but if you feel comfortable, you'll get a little bit more damage by slotting the elemental weapon versus the crushing shock. So that's optional, because the crushing shock won't scale to the War Maidens, but the elemental weapon will. We will go ahead with the debilitate. Debilitate is going to give us also an overcharge status effect, inflicting minor magic seal for 4 seconds. This restores 168 magicka every 1 second when damaging the target. Okay, merciless resolve. Okay, your senses for 40 seconds increases your critical damage. Okay, so it's very important that our crit rating is high on single target. So that's why we're going to also put the inner light. This is also going to increase our max magic by 5%, giving us over that 40,000. And we're going to get the major prophecy at all times, so we don't have to worry about pot downtime. So we're going to get an extra boost to the DPS. And add that with the merciless resolve. Once this fires, I can crit this over around 50k, but 20k base. Okay, soul harvest, pretty much a no-brainer here. This is also going to go ahead and give us a critical value into the Mageblade's passive with the assassination. So we get penetration against enemies that are flanking. And then we're going to get a spell critical rating of 438 per ability slotted. That gives us 876. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and slot it on the back bar, you could. That would increase it. But since that's our AoE bar, we want to really go ahead and maximize the potential of our single target rotation. Okay, so back bar is our AoE, what I call this is Sap Essence. This is my spammable in AoE situations, clearing trash or whatever. I use Twisting Path into my standard rotation and Unstable Wall. So this is a lightning staff. The reason being, we definitely want to take advantage of the off balance that gets applied to lightning staffs. Okay. I think it's Trifocus. Okay, but if you get the off balance, you get the boost of DPS. Harness Magicka, I like this a little bit better because I get Magicka return when I'm dealt damage. Race Against Time, I usually will proc this in between my spam, so I'll lay down my AoE rotation, proc this, then spam up my Sap Essence. Remember, Sap Essence also gives you major sorcery as well. So really, really good. And then also got the Soul Tether because we're dealing magic damage. So we got magic damage, magic damage, magic damage, magic damage, and of course magic damage. We want to take advantage of all of our magic damage capabilities with this build since we are using the War Maidens. And there you guys pretty much have it. Said and done. Proof is in the pudding. Death to the meta, as always. I'm your boy, Mistick Raven, and if you want the specifications for the champion points, click that subscribe button and click the link below, and I'll give you the details on how to maximize this in the new CP configuration. As always, thank you, and have a nice day.